Hi everyone, welcome to the Crimsafe Endurance Countdown. I'm Briony Ingerson and with me Jack Perkins. Jack, let's take a look at the Red Bull Racing Australia entry. On paper, with their past results, fair to say they'll have to be the team to beat. Jamie Whincup last year, of course, picked up his 4th Bathurst win alongside Paul Dumbrell. And Craig Lowndes picked up the Sandown 500 win with Warren Luff, which was his first V8 supercar victory. So really strong combinations.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they're obviously the team that everyone puts as number one, although the Car of the Future regulations have really sort of brought them back to everyone else this year, and it's been quite open. Jamie still leads the championship, of course, but I do like the Whincup Dumbrell pairing. I mean, they're going to be probably the favourites as reigning champs, but it's Paul's second year out now of full-time driving, and I know how hard it is when you're doing a little bit of driving to come out for Bathurst, and Paul does none, so he hasn't actually raced anything since Bathurst last year, and they'll be giving him as many miles testing as possible, probably as many miles on the Friday practice as well, and hopefully that's not to his detriment come race day.
Warren Luff, as we said, picked up his first race win, and he's been driving in Carrera Cup all year, so he's definitely got race miles under his belt and the confidence as well. Yeah,
I mean, that's Warren Luff's again been one of the top 4 or 5 co-drivers for the last 3 or 4 years, and he's done no racing in those years. So this year to be racing full-time in the Carrera Cup will definitely help him, and him and Lowndesy get on pretty well, and we all know Craig Lowndes lifts that little bit higher at Bathurst, so look, you can't ever look past them, and together they make a pretty good combination, so we'll be keeping an eye on both of those Red Bull cars.
Also interesting, the team will add a 3rd entry come the Supercheap Auto Bathurst 1000, and they'll be placed down the other end of pit lane to Red Bull Racing Australia. So will that affect their preparation, and will it be much of a distraction come race time?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's hard to know. They're the only team to tackle this wildcard deal for Bathurst, and it's been a big project for everyone to build the new Car of the Futures. And of course, we've read about this Adrian Burgess on gardening leave, so Roland's going to be running the show, and it'll be interesting to see if it is a distraction. I don't know if it will be, obviously, with the 2 cars in the championship up one end and the wildcard up the other. But, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how they go, and, you know, hopefully there's no reliability issues because they might be down the other end of pit lane pinching some spares.
Anyway, Stefan Bartholomeus caught up with both drivers, Craig Lowndes and Jamie Whincup, ahead of the PIRTEK Endurance Cup.
Now, there's always a lot of hype around Craig Lowndes in this championship, but Craig, last year, Peter Brock livery on the car for Bathurst, there was a lot of build-up, and ultimately on the Sunday it was a little bit disappointing. Are you looking forward to a bit of a lower key sort of build-up this year?
Look, I think we are. I think that's you know, last year was fantastic to be able to run the old livery, which is a livery I remember sitting on the couch at home watching Brock drive around. So for me, it was very special to have Bev there, have the car being chopped across basically from one side of Bathurst to the other on the racetrack. It was quite amazing. But you know, this year is, as you said, a little bit more low key. We can get our teeth into it, really focus on you know, what we want out of the car. It's a brand new car. Car of the Future is going to make it a very interesting sort of race this year. Luffy and I are back together, so Batman and Robin are ready to go again.
What are going to be the differences with this new car this year? Obviously, tyres are a big part of last year's race, and this year we don't have the fuel trim.
No, I think there's a couple of things like that. There's definitely the tyres will be interesting to see how it you know, handles over the course of a race run. The fuel load, although we've seen this year that the balance of the car doesn't change a lot, so that's a good thing. The capacity of the fuel tank, that was a little bit less than last year, so it might be more frequent stops. And again, the one biggest thing which I keep talking about is the rear roll centre adjustment. We don't have that now in the Car of the Future. So if you start with an ugly car, there's very little you can do to the car through pit stops to make it a better car. So you're going to have to make sure that you try and start the day with an understanding of what it's going to be, whether it's going to be a cloudy, overcast day, a sunny day, how much rubber is going to go down on track, and how much faster the car will be at the end of the race.
You mentioned Warren before, obviously second year now together. Were there any things that needed to be worked on after last year? You won Sandown, so it didn't go too badly.
No, I think that Warren and I are you know, pretty well matched. You know, he's pretty relaxed. He's very comfortable in the car. He's been doing races this year. He's been doing the Porsche Carrera Cup, doing some GT racing. So for me, it's fantastic to have a partner like Warren that's been active. Obviously race fit, and again, as I said, he's just very accommodating to be able to get in the car. He has a very similar feel to me, which again is a great thing, especially when we get to that side of racing. When you've got to drive the car as a combination, it's nice to have 2 drivers that wanting the same thing.
Now, Jamie Whincup, of course, the reigning winner of the Bathurst 1000 with Paul Dumbrell. Jamie, it's always a good day when you win Bathurst, but last year, those last 2 stints, you had a lot going on, tyres, fuel, Davey Reynolds charging. Was that your best drive in this category?
It has to be up there, without doubt. Yeah, you know, we come into what I call Chapter 2. We all know that the endurance season has changed now with the Gold Coast stuck on the end of the two big races. So yeah, it finished Chapter 1. Now it's hard into Chapter 2. So such an important part of the year. That it is a different style of racing with the two dual driver enduros, 3 I should say now. So yeah, we're looking forward to the shenanigans again, as you said. It was all going on last year, and I just think it's all going to, that plus more is going to happen this year, because we've still got the fuel issue, we've still got tyres, and all done in brand new cars, so it's going to be pretty nuts.
Obviously, you've got a few trophies from the Sunday, but you haven't got a pole up there at Bathurst. And last year, you seemed a little bit disappointed on the Saturday night, even though we all wanted to talk about the race, but you seemed a bit down about just getting edge there for pole. Is that something you're aiming for this year?
Always the goal is to win the race. It's very tough from pole position. I don't know why. It's all psychological, but it's very tough to win the race from pole. So, hey, maybe it was a blessing in disguise just to get done by Davo for the pole. But we had the quickest car. I was quick over the top of the hill, and I was good enough over the top of the hill, and the strength of our car, which we'd been tuned up for all week, was to be fast in that last sector. And it's a bad excuse, but my predicted time was saying I was 2/10 up, so I went pretty easy into the last little bit, into the chase in the last corner, just to make sure that I got that pole. And anyway, the predictor was 2/10 out, so we got pipped by 100th or so. So that's the way it goes. That goes to show you should just keep up it all the way to the end.
Have you got any read on how fast the cars are going to be at Bathurst this year? Because it's been a little bit surprising that they haven't been as quick as last year's cars at most circuits.
Yeah, at Queensland Raceway, the cars were quick there. I think we'll see they'll be fast, or they were fast at Winton as well. So yeah, I really think it. I think it's a lot of it's tyre related. I think we're still messing around, experimenting with this new tyre, and I've got a feeling that the cars will be fast at these endurance events, depending on the conditions, of course. You know, you got to remember, if the track temp goes up 3 or 4 degrees, then it dramatically makes the lap time slower than the year before. So if the conditions are good, I can see the cars going quite quick.
Craig Lowndes and Jamie Whincup there. Well, don't forget to stay tuned to speedcafe.com for more of the Crimsafe Endurance Countdown.
Buying security screens? Most Crimsafe lookalikes can pop out in just a few seconds, but the real Crimsafe doesn't, thanks to its patented screw clamp. Cheap lookalikes can pop out because they're only held in with a piece of plastic. But Crimsafe screw clamp locks the mesh and spreads the impact. Crimsafe resists attack and corrosion, and now has the ultimate warranty, 15 years. Ask for a demonstration today, because if it's not Crimsafe, it's not Crimsafe.